Hello again, my name is David Watts from Lenovo Press, and today we're going to be talking about the ThinkSystem ST650 V2. This is our new two-socket tower system featuring the new Intel Xeon, third generation Intel Xeon scalable processors. And I have with me today Russ Resnick. Russ is our worldwide segment manager for 1 and 2 rack and tower servers. How are you doing, Russ?
Hi David, how are you?
I'm good. All right, so this system, Russ, is a tower system with a lot of drives, a lot of slots. Can be converted to a rack as well. What's the typical customer that would use this system?
Yeah, so we see these towers used mainly in remote office or branch office installations for customers who need to run their typical office applications remotely.
Yep. Now, as I mentioned, the advantage of this is that it has a lot of drive support. We'll talk about it in a moment at the different configurations, but up to basically 16 2.5-inch drives, or up to 32 2.5-inch drives. A lot of storage capacity. Let's start with the security features. The tower has a lockable front door that's available for the system. And the side panel is lockable as well. The lock mechanism there controls both. Russ, in the environment that this system's used, that's pretty important, right?
Yeah, of course. And it also has a optional chassis intrusion switch.
Yes.
So if the server is remotely managed by an organization, if someone were to open the server, there would be an alert sent to a remote location to notify people that the server has been opened.
Yeah. And this configuration is a tower. You can convert it to a 4U rack mount system if you wish. There's a conversion kit for that purpose as well. Now, as I said, the system, a lot of storage in the front. This particular server has space for 16 3.5-inch drives. You can see the 3 individual drives there, and then there's space for another 12 on top for a total of 16. There are other configurations. For example, I can replace, instead of having drives at the top here, 3.5-inch drives, I can have only 12 drives, and then at the top would be space for 2 media bays. So that might be an optical drive, a DVD, or a tape drive, an LTO tape, or an RDX drive. So for backup and recovery purposes. That's available option as well. Instead of the 3.5-inch drives, this server supports 2.5-inch drives, and here's a filler for those. You can see that there's space for 32. Each of these is 8. 32 of these drive bays, 2.5-inch, on the server, with still space at the top for the media bays. So quite a rich system in terms of storage capacity. All these drives are hot swap, and there is the support for 3.5-inch simple swap drives as well at the front.
Yeah, as well as NVMe drives as well.
Yes, indeed. There's support for NVMe for high performance if you need that. High performance storage. Yep. Also on the front, some ports and controls. There's power button and LEDs for network activity and local storage. 2 USB ports, USB 2 and USB 3.1, Gen 1. Russ, the USB 2 port can also be used for xClarity Mobile, right?
That's right. So if a customer has a tablet or a phone, they use the xClarity mobile app, they can talk to the xClarity controller in the server.
Yeah, so that's simply you plug your phone or tablet into this USB port with the app installed, and you get local management functionality there. Yeah. So that's what's on the front of the system. Let me spin it around to the back. Now, if you aren't interested in using xClarity Mobile, perhaps you don't wish to use the app, or your policies don't allow for the use of tablets or phones near your servers, then we also have support for a remote diagnostic handset. Oh, sorry, external diagnostic handset.
External diagnostic handset, which allows the customer or the servicer to talk to the xClarity controller.
And that's what this is here.
Into the server.
Yes. So the port for that is just here. This is the back of the server, and you can see that you plug that in, and then this gives you access to this LCD display with buttons to give you access to that, and that allows you then to manage the system locally. So that's a very handy feature as well. There's a magnet on the back, so you can mount it on the server itself if you don't need it, or it can be on any other metal surface for that matter. Now, other ports on the back. There's support here for two Ethernet ports. These are actually 10 gig. These are 10G base T Ethernet ports that support 1 gig or 10 gig. Russ, this is a pretty easy way of getting 10 gig Ethernet on a system, right?
Right. We find that most customers, who use these servers in a remote office or branch office installation, require networking.
Yes.
So it's just more convenient to just have it installed as part of the motherboard.
Yep. Standard VGA and serial ports there. This is a Ethernet port for remote management. Again, to connect to the Clarity controller service processor. You can plug it into the network, and then you have access to that through that port there. 4 USB ports. These are USB 3.1 Gen 1 at the back. The ID LED there, that allows you it can be enabled remotely to activate that LED, so that this local servicer knows which system to work on if you have multiple right next to each other. That's a handy feature. The system supports 2 power supplies. This one has 2 750 watt power supplies. Russ, the system also supports other sizes, right?
Right. It supports, I think, up to 2400 watt supplies.
Yeah. And the reason for 2400 watt, of course, is because it's a lot of drives, a lot of two high performance processors, and support for up to 9 slots, 9 adapters, GPUs, for example. So that's where the 2400 watt power supply is useful. So yes, there are up to 9 PCIe slots. The system is PCIe Gen 4 now with the new processors. Yes. So that gives you a performance benefit, definitely. 4 slots at the top and 5 slots at the bottom. One of the slots at the bottom, slot 8, is optional. It's configured through one of the internal NVMe ports or PCIe ports. I'll show you that when we get inside. So that's the back of the system. Anything else to add there, Russ?
No, I think you've covered it pretty well.
Yeah, okay.
Let's take a look inside.
Yeah. So yes, the security lock there will ensure that only authorized people can access, but once you unlock it, it's simply a matter of just sliding off and gaining access. So yes, let's look at of course the big items are the 2 processors that are installed there with the large heat sinks on top. The system, Russ, supports 32 DIMM slots total, right?
Right. So this is the third generation Xeon scalable processor that supports up to 32 DIMMs on the motherboard. That's 8 channels per socket, 16 DIMMs per CPU.
Yeah.
That's right.
So now this system, this is our ST650.
That's right.
ST650 V2.
Right. So this system is a new mainstream tower server.
Yep.
Supporting more features of the CPUs, meaning the 32 DIMMs, higher wattage, and the full complement of PCI slots.
Right. So it's kind of a follow-on to our current ST550. But it's more than that. It's more than just simply a follow-on. There are more features,
That's right.
more capabilities with this system, which is why it's an 650, not the 550. Yeah. Okay. So yes, the slots, the 9 slots. There's 4 slots at the top and another 5 slots at the bottom there. When you only have 1 processor installed, not all the slots are available. But once you do have the 2 installed, all 9 are there. I mentioned that one of the slots, slot 8, is optional. In order to activate that slot, you would use 8 of the some of the PCIe lanes, and that's activated through this port here on the system board. So that's useful if you do need additional slots for adapters.
Right, or if you don't need the slots for the adapters, you can use those lanes for NVMe drives in the front.
Right. Yes. So there's configuration choices there. 4 hot swap dual rotor fans to cool the system. Those are hot swap, as I say, for easy access. Just squeeze here and pull out. Yeah. Now, in front of that, in front of the fans, there is an adapter. That's the RAID card for the system. The form factor is called compact form factor. It's an internal adapter that doesn't actually require a slot. That's why it's in the position. Doesn't use any of the slots at the back, and that can be used to drive or at least many of the drive bays at the front of the system.
That's right.
Yeah. Also, there's support for the M.2 adapter. Russ, why would you use M.2 here?
So the M.2 adapter is great for boot media. That's what it's really designed for. So if you want to make sure that the boot media is separate from the data, or the OS boot separate from the data, that's where the OS image can live on the M.2, and that's a dual M.2 adapter.
Yes, I only have one M.2 installed, one M.2 drive, but yes, the adapter itself supports two M.2 drives, and you can configure those as a RAID pair if you wish. Yeah. Yep. So there you go. I think that's about it. Russ, any more features to add on this system?
No, I think not. As I said, this is a new mainstream tower for us, and it supports a large set of adapters and a full complement of memory. And if you have more detailed questions on this server, there's the Lenovo Press product guide for the server.
Yes. I'll put the link to that in the description for the videos to give you access to get more information about the system. Yeah.
And if you have more questions about this server, you can always contact your local Lenovo seller or business partner.
Yeah. Yep. All right. There you go. So this is the ThinkSystem ST550. Sorry, the ST650 V2.
That's right.
With the new third generation Intel Xeon Scalable processor. Thanks, Russ, for your time.
Hey, thanks for having me.
Yep. And hope you found the video useful, and we'll see you later.